So you want to start a side hustle, but how do you get started? That's what we're going to cover in today's video. Hey, I'm Elise Cartwright. Welcome to the Hustle and Groove channel, where we talk about all things productivity, email marketing, and what it looks like to be an online entrepreneur. Don't forget to hit subscribe so that you can hear more about these videos as they go live, which are Tuesdays and Thursdays every week. So getting started with a side hustle, let me tell you a little story about why I want to share this information with you. So back in 2010, I was working a full-time job, and I remember coming in at the beginning of 2011, so after the holidays and all of that fun stuff had gone down, and having a conversation with my boss, who was amazing, and we had a really open relationship, so I could have really frank discussions with her. Basically, I remember coming in and sitting down with her and just saying, hey, what does my career progression really look like? What can I hope to achieve in the next 12 months? And she just kind of stared at me for a little bit and then was like, you know what, Lise? Unless I retire, which isn't going to happen anytime soon, you really don't have any other next steps as far as this department is concerned. I'm it. And then she followed up by saying, plus, you kind of make my life easy, so why would you want to move anywhere else? And I remember coming out of that discussion thinking, wow, I had already been with the company for close to 3 years, and I remember thinking, it's that time again. It's time to switch jobs, and thinking again, I don't want to do this. Up until that point, I had had a new job every 3 years for about the last 10 years. So getting to that point and just getting itchy feet and knowing that this wasn't really what I wanted to be doing, but not really sure what I wanted to do. So I spent the next part of 2011 going through and just researching what options I had, not really knowing anything about online businesses, nothing about freelancing or any of those sorts of things. Fast forward to now, and I am a full-time author and coach, and I just love helping people get started in a side hustle because that's exactly what I did. So I'm going to walk you through the steps you should take if this is where you're at. So step number 1 is figure out what you want to do. So that means writing down all the things that you're good at. So start with what you do in your day job and break it down by skills. So I know that you're probably thinking, I just do this. But really, that is lots of different things. So if I think about what I was doing in my previous job, which was a program manager. So I was looking after a program and managing all of that. So that meant I had to write reports, I had to write emails, I had to manage Excel spreadsheets, I had to do a lot of mail merges using Microsoft Word. So I had a lot of knowledge of the Microsoft suite of programs, so I knew I could do stuff like that. So write down all the skills that you do in your day job. Then think about the things that you are passionate about. What are your hobbies? What are the things that you do in your spare time that might be something that you could do and make money from? And then the other thing that you should definitely do is write down all the things that people come and ask you questions about. Is your mum constantly asking you for help with Microsoft Word? What about how to even just get her computer set up? All of those things you should definitely write down. So that is step number 1. And step number 2 is all about validating that stuff. How do you do that? Just jump on Google, type in the skill that you've got and see what comes up. Is anyone searching for that skill? If they are, and particularly if you see anyone advertising or if you see individual websites or companies doing this type of thing, then you know that people are searching for what you're thinking about doing. And then when you get to that point, you want to choose something and just choose, fully knowing that this isn't necessarily going to be the thing that you do for the rest of your life. This is the great thing about starting a side hustle, is that you get to test a whole bunch of different things. Test what you might be wanting to do full time. So just choose one and then get yourself set up online. So create an online presence so that people can connect with you and so that you can share your information with people easily without having to bombard them with all the things in an email. So you can do this really easily. Just set up a couple of one-page websites. You don't need to have a lot of information on there, just some information about yourself and how someone can contact you and what it is that you're offering. So WordPress.com is a great free service that will allow you to get set up relatively quickly, and then further down the track, if you ever wanted to have your own hosted website, easily convert that from WordPress.com to WordPress.org. So now that you've got your side hustle sorted, you've got an online presence. Now what? Now it's about finding clients. Now the next part of this process is really going to depend on how much you want to share with your friends and family what you're doing. But the first part in finding a client is really reaching out to your own network, letting them know what you're doing and that you're open for business, letting them know that you're going to discount what you're doing for the first few people, just so that you can get some testimonials and referrals from people as well. So if you're not open to doing that, then think about looking at job boards online, think about looking at Facebook group communities. Just start to think about where you might be able to advertise what you're doing. Some online freelancing sites include Upwork and Freelancer, but just be aware that if you go with either of those sites, that potentially your first few jobs are going to be fairly low paid because they favor people who have been on there a lot longer. But it's a great way to get yourself started and just to test out what you're doing and see if you even like it. So then once you've done that a few times, you just simply rinse and repeat. Continue to connect with people, continue to let them know what you're doing, and just market yourself in different ways. So one of the best ways to do that is to figure out where your target customer is hanging out online. So that might be Facebook groups, it might be LinkedIn. Just figure out where that is and start to hang out there too. Start to help and answer their questions. And when it's appropriate, share your website details with them so that they can connect with you and potentially hire you for whatever it is that you're wanting to do. So if you want to know more about what this looks like in much more detail, check out the blog post associated with this video. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like so that you get to see more content from moi, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.